Describe a moment when you experienced your worldview.
That is a really good question. And I would say, in a practical sense, when I went back being a carpenter and was literally persecuted on the job practically every single day. I changed my worldview, my life changed, and when I went to work, I was called every single name in the book. They started calling me preacher, they started calling me holier than thou, they started throwing nasty books in my truck and walking away. You know me, trying to spy on me to see what I would do. You know, as soon as I went to my truck, I'd throw it out the window so they could see it. But I mean, that's when I did right there. So it was rough. You know, working as a carpenter at a construction site is a tough thing. There's a lot of macho men out there. But that's when I first clashed and first witnessing, of course, because my response to them was, hey, you guys need to know what I know. You guys need to experience Jesus. Man, he changed my life. He transformed me. I mean, I'm not the same person I was before.
And that's so interesting that the men at work took you giving your life to Christ as a negative thing, like a threat.
Yeah, like he thinks he's better than me. I used to get in discussions that remember, I was really young. I was only like a couple of years old in my salvation experience, but it drove me. It made me go home and study because there was a lot of questions that people asked me. Then they would walk away and go, yeah, that's right. Like, I thought you didn't know that. Look at you, Christian. And I would go, you know what? I don't know the answer right now, but tomorrow I will. I'll come back with the answer tomorrow. And believe it or not, these guys were sick and tired of me. And I would come back, give them an answer, and they would go, oh, okay, well, let me give you another one. And I would go home, get the answer, come and give them the answer. And after a while, they were I could tell they were uncomfortable around me. It was like, oh, he's God's guy, you know, we better not get too close, or, you know, I'm going to have to stop cussing if I hang out with him, and, you know, stuff like that. But it got really good after a while, especially this one company I worked for 4 years. I actually led the foreman to the Lord, and I led one of the top workers to the Lord, but he died in a car accident, and he didn't really pray with me and accept Christ as his Lord, but whenever his friends came around on the construction site, he would say, oh, hey, I gotta go, Coco. But he would usually listen the whole time. And then he had too many beers after work one day. He went over up in the mountains in Auburn, like he used to live up in Forest Hill, and his truck went over an embankment and rolled all the way down, and he wasn't wearing a seatbelt, and the truck came right down on his legs while he was outside. The paramedics said that he was alive for at least 6 hours before he died, and everybody was devastated because, you know, he was like one of the nicest guys. Everybody loved him. But they didn't know. Every time he came around me, he'd always ask me about Jesus, always ask about Jesus. So I was like crying one day in my closet, praying and saying, God, why didn't you let me lead him to you and pray for him? And I gotta tell you, Riley, as real as you see me right now, while I was praying that, the Lord spoke to me and said, no, I did come to him to remind him of everything you talked to him about when he was conscious for the 6 hours. And he gave his life to the Lord right there. The Lord told me that, not like I'm talking to you, but it was just crazy. It was like I was talking to myself and the Lord was talking through me. It was bizarre, but I was like, all right, so you appeared yourself to him while he was dying, and that was it. He took him right there with Jesus. So yeah, that's an incredible story.